Welcome, sir. Welcome to our CPS Info.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
So nowadays, all the employees are covered with NPS, National Pension System. So hence, we would like to know about what is NPS and why it was introduced, and what are the benefits we have, everything. So first of all, what is NPS and why it was introduced, sir?
Okay, sir. Compulsory. The NPS means new pension scheme. Now it is called as National Pension System. It was implemented. The primary goal of implementation of NPS is to encourage the sharing market, and the primary goal is contribution of the employee towards the pension scheme to reduce the burden, as well as to encourage the share market, as well as to increase the contribution of government employees towards for getting their pension after their retirement. So the scheme was implemented Gazette notification in the year of 2003. Based on this Gazette notification, the scheme is implemented to all the central government employees who are joined on or after 1/1/2004 onwards should come under this NPS scheme, sir, including railway servants and civil servants in defense sector also should come under this NPS scheme.
Who are the employees exempted from NPS, sir?
So all should come under this NPS scheme, sir, except army services and paramilitary services in the defense sector. All should central government employees should cover under NPS scheme.
So what about state government employees?
State government employees also comes under this contributory pension system. The scheme is called in the central government CPS, or contributory pension system. This is vary in state to state, and most of the states are covered under this CPS system, except one or two states, West Bengal like that. Almost all states cover this CPS system, sir.
What was the government's plan to implement this NPS system?
So primary goal of government is the contribution of government employees towards the pension, to reduce the much burden to the government, as well as to encourage the share market. So in private sector, in day to day, very competition in the share market. So the share value when the increased, automatically GDP growth also increased. So for that motto, this NPS system was introduced. So this NPS system should be covered under all the central government employees who are joined on or before 1/1/2004, sir.
Okay, is there any plans to opt for this share marketing, whatever it may be?
Yes, sir. After joining of government servant, he has to apply for PRAN card, sir. So PRAN card means permanent retirement account number. So our NPS contribution amount should be deducted from our salary and credited to our PRAN number. So for applying this, employee should fill the common subscription registration form, sir. So through this form, employee should apply for PRAN number allotted by the PAO by the support of CRASR, Central Record Keeping Agency. So Central Record Keeping Agency should allot the PRAN number, and same is submitted to the PAO. Through PAO, it is submitted to DDO. So DDO should allot the same PRAN number to the concerned employee. So based on this PRAN number, our NPS contribution will be deducted from our salary. The percentage is 10% of our basic plus DA. So our monthly contribution towards the employee is 10% of our salary.
Only
salary
basic pay?
Salary means basic plus DA, sir.
Basic plus DA, okay. So 10% of basic pay plus DA will be deducted towards NPS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from when this deduction will be affected?
So the deduction will be affected the following month of the date of joining of the employee, sir. That means once the employee joined in the service in the middle of the month, so the next month onwards, the NPS contribution should be deducted from our salary, sir.
Okay. All the amount deducted will be sent to the PRAN in his PRAN account?
Yes, sir. The deduction amount should be created in our PRAN account, as well as our contribution, the government contribution, which is 14% of our basic plus DA, sir. Our employee contribution is 10%, and employer contribution is 14%, which is depends on our basic plus DA. So the both amounts should be created in our PRAN account, and the profits also should be shown in every month, sir.
How this amount will be invested in share market, and whether we need to get option, or it will be done by automatically?
Yes, sir. At the time of joining in the scheme, we have to fill up a CRS form, sir. Already we told. So in this form, there is some options, sir. First option is active choice. Second option is auto choice. So if we opt auto choice, our contribution amount you can invest towards some government organizations, government corporations like State Bank of India, UTI, LIC, sir. If we select auto choice, but if we select active choice, means active choice some other like private ICICI, HDFC, etc. organizations, we may opt through active choice.
So can we withdraw this amount in middle of the service?
Yes, sir. There is a option for this. Government employee should have completed minimum 3 years of service. Means employee should have contribute his NPS amount towards the NPS scheme at least 3 years. After completion of 3 years, employee can apply for withdrawal. The withdrawal amount is 25% of employee contribution only. Please note the point, sir. Employee contribution only.
Okay.
It does not include any employer contribution.
Okay.
Employer contribution and also any profits on this employee contribution. Only employee contribution, 25% of employee contribution we may withdraw for some purposes. Some technical education, some purchasing of flat, marriage purpose, some disease purpose. For those purposes also, we can withdraw 25% of our employee contribution towards NPS.
After completion of 3 years.
3 years. This withdrawal facility only available 3 times only available for entire service. But here, after the first withdrawal, second withdrawal and between third withdrawal, there is 5 years minimum gap is required, sir.
Okay.
And also there is no documentary evidence is also required for applying this withdrawal process. If DDO is satisfied for withdrawal, he may forward the application to concerned PO. The PO may be sanctioned and the sanctioned amount directly credited to our bank accounts.
Sir, can we know what is the balance amount in my account in NPS?
Yes,
towards?
sir. We know everything, our NPS subscription amount as well as government contribution amount as well as profits on their contribution through cra.nsdl.com website, sir. There is cra.nsdl website.com wherein we have to log in by using our PRAN number and required password. After login, we may download, we may choose our statement, annual statement, wherein clearly displayed our monthly contribution and also employer contribution and profits thereon. There is yearly financial year base. Financial year base, we may select the every financial year, and according this, we may the software may display the statement regarding this concerned financial year, sir.
Okay, so financial year wise statement we will get through,
yes, sir,
through email or through website?
Through website. Also, after completion of financial year, the NSDL may send to our mail ID. Previously, the statements received by the government servants through post, sir. But now it was sent to our mail.
Okay. After the retirement, what will be the amount we are going to get through this NPS system?
Yes, sir. At the time of retirement, the official may withdraw some lump sum amount from this contribution of NPS, as well as some percentage of amount should invest in annuity, sir. So this comes under exit and withdrawal scheme under NPS. So at the time of superannuation, 40% amount we have to invest in annuity. 60% of amount we may withdraw lump sum, sir. 60% 40%. 60% amount withdraw lump sum, and remaining 40% we should have to invest in annuity scheme. So about annuity scheme, we will discuss our final session of this class, sir. So that is at the time of retirement. Superannuation. For suppose if the employee opt for superannuation through voluntary retirement, in this case the percentage is varies, sir. In this 20% of amount only we withdraw from our contribution amount. Remaining 80% we should have to invest in annuity scheme, sir. The third one is if the employee getting a resignation. Where in resignation also the percentage is similar to before superannuation, like voluntary retirement, like 20% and 80%. 20% amount withdraw lump sumly, remaining 80% amount should have to invest in annuity scheme.
Okay.
The fourth one is at the time of dismissal, removal, compulsory retirement, wherein also like the superannuation before superannuation, 20% to 80%.
So what will happen if a government servant resigned in one department and joined to another department? What will happen through this NPS amount?
If the official resigned one central government and he may transfer to another central government or central government, which organizations comes under the NPS scheme, the official may opt for transfer of this NPS account from one government to another government, sir. He should have to continue, with same PRAN number, but organization is different.
So the same number, same amount
Yes,
transferred
transfer.
to that department. Okay. What will happen if the NPS person dies within the service? So before retirement he dies, what will the amount he is going to get, his family?
Yes, sir. If the government servant expired in the middle of the service, the family members may opt for old pension scheme or the NPS, new pension scheme. So most of the nominees should opt for old pension scheme. So if you opt for old pension scheme, our entire NPS contribution amount should be sent to Department of Post. So the PAO can consider the nominee's request and grant for family pension under the CCS pension rules 1972. Sir.
Okay. Whatever the amount accrued under NPS will be transferred
The
to
accumulated amount should be transferred to concerned PAOs.
Okay.
Government accounts.
Government
account. Gratuity, CJJ schemes all are equal to the old pension scheme, sir. Okay. If the NPS official retired from service, he get the retirement gratuity, CGJSU, leave encashment, all are equal except pension.
Okay. When an official goes on EXOL without pay, whether the NPS amount will be recovered or not?
No, sir. Actually, NPS amount purely based on emoluments which are getting by the official on monthly basis. So, if the official getting on full emoluments, the percentage of 10% of can be recovered from the official pay, sir. If the official goes on EX1 and retirement, then there is no pay drawn by the official. So, the NPS contribution also nil for this month, sir. As well as the arrears amount also should not be recovered from the official, from the pay and elements of the officials.
Whether recovery will be affected when the official is in suspension?
No, sir. It is optional by the concerned official, sir. If the official was under suspension, if the official wants to opt for recovery NPS contribution from his salary, the NPS contribution should be recovered based on this 50% emolument, sir. If the official also unwilling for this NPS contribution, the NPS contribution should be stopped immediately from the date of the suspension, sir.
Sir, up to which month this NPS amount will be recovered from the official?
An official goes on superannuation retirement, the NPS contribution should be stopped at least 1 month before of the superannuation, sir. Retired official should have to apply for this NPS withdrawal at least 1 month before their retirement, sir. At least 1 month before their retirement.
So, okay, 60% amount will be given to him as a lump sum amount.
Yes, sir.
What about that 40%?
The 40% amounts already we discussed. It should be invested in the annuity, sir. These annuity schemes, there are different various kinds of annuity service providers, ASPs. It is called ASPs. These annuity service providers registered under the PFRDA, sir, Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. Based on these annuity service providers, who may opt the different schemes, sir. Each service provider available the different schemes in their according to the organization. For suppose if you want to select a default scheme, in this default scheme, the annuity amount will be paid to the concerned employee up to their end of the life, sir, up to their death. After expiry of the government servant, the amount will be paid to the concerned spouse in the form of monthly pension. After that, the amount will be paid to the parents. After the completion of this process, the annuity investment amount should return to the children, sir.
That is the automatic option.
Yes, sir. Default scheme.
Default option is
default
up to his life.
Yes, sir.
He will get pension.
After that, spouse.
So our spouse will also get pension.
After that, parents, sir.
Parents will also get
pension. After that, the annuity pension will be stopped. The lump sum amount should be returned to the children.
Okay. That is the default option.
Default scheme.
What are the other options?
Remaining options is also available in these annuity service providers. The first option is annuity for life, sir. without returning of annuity investment amount. In this, the monthly pension should be paid to the official up to for entire life, sir. After death of the official, no return of the annuity value, sir. Annuity value means the investment, the 40% investment amount is called as annuity value. So no annuity value should be returned to the nominee.
So okay, whatever when he opts for that option, he will get pension till his death. That's all.
Till his death. This is, sir. No return of annuity
No
value.
return of all. Okay, that is option 1. So 2, second one.
So the second one in this annuity for life with return of annuity value to the nominee.
Okay.
So in this case, the monthly pension in the form of annuity should pay to the concerned government servant, retired official, up to end of this life. After that, the lump sum amount, annuity amount should pay to the nominees. Next option is annuity for life with 50% return of annuity value to the nominee. So this is the third option. In this option also, the annuity amount in the form of monthly pension should pay to the retired official up to end of their life. After that, 50% of annuity value should be returned to the nominee. So the fourth option is also annuity for life with 100% return of annuity value. So in this case, the pension in the form of annuity should be paid to the concerned retired official up to death of their life. After that, 100% of annuity value means investment, our 40% investment value should return to the nominee.
Okay. There ends matter.
There is matter.
Sir, what are these tier 1 and tier 2 options?
Sir, in this NPS schemes, there are two tiers. The first one is tier 1. The tier 1 is compulsory for the all government servants after joining in the government sector. The tier 2 is an optional, which is not compulsory for the government servants. And the tier 1 is we may continue after the retirements also up to 7 years. For this, we should apply before 50 days of our superannuation. Whereas tier 2, we must stop at the time of superannuation. Sir. Knowing about much more about this NPS, please log in NPS cra.nsdl.com, wherein about NPS, our statements is available, our nomination is available, our e-PRAN card is available, everything is available, sir. We may withdraw also from this by using this website. So please visit this to learn to know more about NPS scheme. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving all this information. Thank you.